this video is going to be centered on my experience as an international student in Canada that came back to study after over 10 years of being absent from school. I will just share with you the tips that have worked for me. I'm going into my second year right now, and it was such a struggle for me in the first year, so I decided to share these tips for whoever is coming to really know what to expect. Like, when I was coming into here, there were lots of videos on how to get visas, lots of videos on how to get the documents you're supposed to submit, but I didn't really see anyone talk about their experience, in classroom experience. So this is just what I want to share, and tips that will help you, not to struggle so much as an international student. Because hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miriam, for those who do not know, and this channel is basically about my experience as an international student here in Canada studying nursing. My topics are always centered on nursing, but I just want everyone to know that you don't have to come here to study nursing for my channel or for this channel to be beneficial to you. I really apologize for always making it sound nursing specific. It is not nursing specific. If you are a new immigrant or you are an international student that just came into Canada, there is something that you can get from this channel. Please do not forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button right now, because if you don't right now, you might just miss it. Please subscribe and share with your family and friends. I have uploaded lots of videos. Some are centered on the documents that I submitted and got my visa approved. I also put out a video that is really doing so well compared to my other videos on reading my statement of purpose to everyone. If it's something that you also want to check, regardless of the country you're going to or you intend to travel to, you might just want to also check that video. So this video is going to be centered on my experience as an international student in Canada that came back to study after over 10 years of being absent from school. I will just share with you the tips that have worked for me. I'm going into my second year right now, and it was such a struggle for me in the first year, so I decided to share these tips for whoever is coming to really know what to expect. This is just what I want to share, and tips that will help you, not to struggle so much as an international student, because regardless of the country that you'll be coming from, the educational system here should be different from the one in wherever country you're coming from. I am Nigerian, and I can tell you for a fact that I don't really know what's going on in the universities or colleges right now. But when I graduated from school, what I met was totally different. And why I feel like I didn't feel so overwhelmed as I would have. I was still overwhelmed, but not as it would have been, was because I did some prerequisite courses and I did it with the institution, like the university that I'm attending right now. So I feel like that helped in preparing me, but not so much compared to what I came and met. So if you want to travel abroad to study after a long while, regardless of whether you just graduated from the university, you might want to watch this video, to just give you an idea of what to expect, and how to handle what you're going to see. So my first day of class was basically orientation. That is what most international students are going to get. What would the orientation be about? It would just be about showing you around, letting you know the instructors or the professors that you're going to have, introducing you if you yet do not already know the courses you're going to be having for that first term. They're also going to talk about the course that you're going to have for the first term. That is basically what orientation is about, letting you know, familiarize yourself with your environment, showing you places. It happens everywhere. Even as a nursing student, if you go for your clinicals, the first day is usually orientation. They show you around the hospital, regardless of whether you have worked there before, because there may be you have done your clinicals there before, because there might be one or two students who haven't done their clinicals in that particular hospital, so they still take you around and show you around. So after the orientation, Everything starts immediately and it doesn't stop. One thing I would like to advise everybody here is, I feel like not everyone knows the importance of planning. I know I struggle a lot with planning, writing everything down, being really organized. And that was a serious challenge for me because you see, this country, deadlines are very, very, very important. You will have lots of assignments that you need to submit, and if you miss a deadline for an assignment, you are missing some percentage of your score. Planning is really important. It's a very, very vital part of your study abroad. It's something that they start with from high school. They learn to plan for the term. Like every citizen of this country that are in my class have a planner, and in that planner they don't even plan on their phone because they want it written. So it's up to you. Some people will just want to do the planning on their phone. Some people they buy a planner hard copy, and every instructor or every professor gives you your syllabus. So for every course you have, you go through your syllabus. Your syllabus contains everything, your assignments, what you're to expect, what you're to read before going to class, what you're to, like, everything that you need to know about that course is in the syllabus. The assignments you're going to have with the dates, and those dates are very, very important because if you don't submit on that day, you might have issues with your score. I think if you miss a day of submission, you miss the deadline, they are going to take out 5% of your score. If you miss 2 days, 10% of your total score. So let's say everything is over 100, right? And then you get 90%. So they take out 5% of that score you have. So let's say you got 90 over 100. 5% of 90 could be 4.5. I really don't know right now, but they will take out 4.5 from the 90 that you already had, which will now make your mark go down. And you don't want to joke with any mark. Regardless of how they've tried to make life easier, people still fail these courses because as an international student, you still have to work. You still have to create a balance. So any opportunity you have to accumulate marks, please do not joke with them. So a planner is very important. So when you have your syllabus, you write out those deadlines, you write out what you're expected to do in every week. So the planner is already built in that way. So you just try as much as you can to get a planner, write out everything, always check those planner. Don't just keep the planner for having a planner's sake. Make sure you fill them up and make sure that you go through those planner so that you don't end up buying the planner, writing stuffs in it and not using it and end up missing deadlines. That will not be beneficial. Another important thing that you need to know is this part of the world, they understand that circumstances happen and situations could just arise, so do not wait until the D-Day for you and you're not able to meet a deadline to talk to your instructor, regardless of the school that you are in. Always drop a message with an email to your instructor to let them know that, oh, I'm not able to meet up, please. Am I able to get an extension? Send it beforehand, at least a week before that day or few days before the deadline, because you could make the person, the instructor or the professor or whoever, you might put them in a spot, but when you give them time, they know that, oh, this person is really making effort towards having a better grade. And I tell you, they always answer, but make sure you do things the right way. Not on the day that your deadline is due, you go and start asking for extension. You might not get it. So I've talked about having a planner, which is very important, going through your syllabus, knowing what you're expected to read. And another thing that happens abroad is they expect that you read before coming to class, and that is why they give you the syllabus beforehand, right? They give you your syllabus immediately you start the class. So you are expected to read. Now, the workload might be so much. You might be so busy and you're not able to go through it. Just try as much as you can to go through some of those things that will be taught, because no lecturer will come into class to begin to go into details, go into deep details. No, they will tell you, oh, By the way, that's why this is a university, and that is why we gave you our syllabus. So it is important for you to know. It's been ages that I went to school, so I cannot even really remember if that is what happens, but I can't remember having that experience. I know that I go to class and I just meet a new topic, and our lecturer try as much as they can to make us understand, but here they give you your syllabus and they ask you to read. They are even going to write it in your syllabus. Read this before class, read chapters 5, 6, 7, 8 before class, and they kind of expect you to read because the classes are mostly interactive, and when you get to class, the instructor will just be discussing, and everybody who have read will be talking, and you will just be looking and looking lost. So all those things can contribute to the frustrations that you might face, at the beginning of the whole session. You will now be wondering, like, can I even do this? How come this person knows this? And you are not even aware that you're supposed to read all those things before you come to class, So having a planner is very important. Reading whatever they ask you to read, try as much as you can to read it, even though it's not always possible. Just try as much as you can to read. Try to meet up with your deadlines. Try to send messages if you cannot meet up with your deadline. Send emails to your instructors, send emails to your lecturers, send emails to your professors, and they will definitely give you a reply. Now, how do you pass? In my own school and the course that I'm doing, your pass mark is 65. If you don't get up to 65, unfortunately, you're going to have to do the course, repeat the course. And yeah, that is what it is. But I have found out that people actually still fail, unfortunately, but they have actually tried as much as they can to make it easier by having assignments. At some point, you're even going to have some courses that have assignments before, like the final exam might just be over 35, and you might have done assignments that is maybe over 40, and then maybe there was a midway exam that is over maybe 25% or 35% or 30%, as the case may be. I think the highest final exam that I've written is over 35. Why? That means you could have probably even gotten your 65 already. That is if you did very well in every other thing before you write your final exam. Or at the end of the day, you notice that, I already have 62. I only need 3 marks to pass. So that is why it is important for you to start early. Make sure you do your assignments well. Those small 5 marks. I had a course that I was doing quiz every morning when you go for the class, and those quiz were over 7. At the end of the day, you might say, I just got 3 over 7. It's nothing. At least I passed half. Or I got 3.5 over 7. I passed half. You actually passed half. But at the end of the day, you have an opportunity to get 7 over 7 and probably make 30 over 30 in that test, because you don't know what is coming in the exam, and you were not as serious. You didn't take it serious because you feel like maybe exam is just test, You don't take it serious, and you end up not getting the grade that you want to get. I know that there's a point you reach in your life and you'll be like, I just need a pass mark. But there are scholarships that you get when you do really well. There are scholarships you get when you get high GP. And it doesn't matter. Some international students could be lucky enough, to get those scholarships. So try as much as you can. Anything to pay less. Anything to have free money is appreciated, You come here, have that mindset that I have come here to succeed and I have to. And these are some of the tips that will help you, in succeeding. Another aspect I would like to talk about is peer review. There's something called peer review. I don't really know the courses and what course other people have done, but for me, in my year 1, there were lots of group work. Now, I want you to understand that don't come here with that I don't care attitude. You have to care. You really, really have to put in effort in your group work, because everybody, somehow there's this culture here that you have to be accountable. You have to put in effort. Even if there's maybe let me use the word sabi in your group over sabi. Maybe someone who wants to do everything. Yeah, because some people are perfectionists. They feel like, you're not giving in. They don't really understand what you put in. Try as much as you can to make them understand. And even if they don't want to impute what you are suggesting, make effort, show them that you have done something, because at the end of the day there's going to be a peer review, and that peer review is just 5 or maybe 10 marks that you will just get just like that. If you don't put in effort in that group work, when your peers are reviewing, peer review of peer evaluation, when they are evaluating you, when your peers are evaluating the work that was put into it, you might end up not getting 10 over 10 or 5 over 5, because somebody will mark you less because they feel like you didn't impute anything in that group work. So take your group works really, really serious. Another aspect that I would like to talk about that is not fully talked about in Nigerian universities where I went to, or probably in the university where you're coming from as an international student, plagiarism is not tolerated here. In fact, it's one of the reasons for that can make them expel you from the school, when you use someone's work and you don't cite that person, when you use someone's work and you don't put a copyright, hey, this was gotten from this person. If you pick, even if it's a line, or you quote somebody and you don't put that quote in there, cite it in text citation and go and reference it, it is like a very serious crime over here, and it can lead to you being penalized. I also want to talk about plagiarism. I've talked about plagiarism. I've talked about the use of AI. AI are very, very important, but artificial intelligence, for those who don't know what AI is, please, artificial intelligence, and some of them, an example would be ChatGPT. People use ChatGPT for basically almost everything. There's hardly a question that you ask ChatGPT that ChatGPT is not able to give you. So use of AI is allowed in my institution and in some institutions, but you have to cite that you used AI, and you also have to reference whatever you used. Yeah. And another aspect that I would like to talk about is test banks. Test bank, there are some lecturers that are so lazy to even set new questions. So for whatever course it is that you have, there are things that you can do, like I don't even know how to put this out there, but there are ways that you can do. You can search for answers. You can search for test questions, even through ChatGPT. When you are done studying, you can actually ask ChatGPT. You just write it there in any AI app that you're using. Can you please set multiple choice questions on maybe liver disease? Let's say you just finished studying liver disease. Set multiple choice questions with their answer on liver disease, and set different multiple choice questions with their answers on liver disease, and ChatGPT will give you lots of questions. You just use it to try your knowledge and see what you have studied, if you are in the right direction. Then there are some instructors that goes direct to test banks. These test banks are, I think, Studog, I don't know if I'm calling the right word, Quizlet, Studog. These are some examples of apps that you can download. I'm going to try and remember the other apps and probably put it in the description box. Some of these textbooks that we use are known textbooks, and questions are already built up on it. I might just put maybe a link to show you the example of what I mean by test bank. So, and some of the test bank, there's an objective question and the answer is probably A. They are going to give you the rationale behind the answer that was chosen. So somehow, if you finish studying, you go through your test bank and you're not really getting the questions right, and you see a right answer, they will tell you why. So somehow it's also like you're also restudying again while going through those test banks. So you're not just restudying. You could also go into the exam hall and find out that all the exams, all the tests, that all the questions that you went through is what will be there. So test banks are also very important. And in the next video, I'll also teach you how to use your search or your Google Lens, your Google Lens, to search out questions. Like if you're in class and your instructor keeps putting in, because they always like to do that, so they put in objective questions in one of the slides of their PowerPoint, you can use your Google Lens to search that particular questions, and Google Lens will bring out other questions that could also be a hint on how you can, get where the instructor is getting those questions from. And you could just be lucky, they might not repeat that questions on the slide, but because you know where the main questions are, like where they took that particular questions out from, you are also able to probably go through them, and it will help you, make good grades, because you can't pay all this large amount of money and come to Canada and not pass. It's impossible. Another part that I would like to talk about before I end this video is managing your time. Managing your time is very, very important. I know that when you come in as an international student, you're thinking about job, you're thinking about, oh, when am I going to start working? Eventually you will start working. Do not forget the reason why you're there in the first place, because if you get all the money, you're able to pay your tuition, and unfortunately you did not get up to the pass mark, that money you're making, you will not only be frustrated going back to work, but you have to pay double, because you have to pass that course before you move on. So use these tips. I know that these tips will help you, and I know that it might seem so long, but if you were able to get to this part of the video, then try as much as you can to impute everything that I have talked about, and I really actually believe that you have better scores. Yeah, if I have more tips that I did not mention here, I'll probably share them in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please, once again, do not forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.